It's like the Irish bomb, or hell, I can hardly hear her, but I
Most
can
people
hear
don't.
everybody else.
Anyway, hello, welcome to Thing in the News episode 167. Yeah, this show is back. Why? Well, I got bored. That was that way. Stuff happened. Right now on to actual news. Oh yeah, and in the chat there's nobody.
So it's just me and you, huh?
Yeah, so saying this is entirely pointless. But maybe at least one person lurking, I don't know. That's 3 people.
Yeah.
2 on stream, 1 on the thing, so someone's watching. Hello, RVA Dar. Mr. Scully, well, thank you very much. And Chucker, you're not nobody. Yeah, nobody's watching yet. You seem to be. And Chucker, are you coming on or are you just staying in the chat? Pornhub sued by deaf man who can't follow storylines without subtitles. Yaroslav Suris allegedly filed a lawsuit against under the Americans with Disabilities Act, as he can't understand the videos. Honestly, who the fuck actually looks at porn for the storyline? I mean, as other where the storyline is usually pretty dry. In porn, I mean, I've never seen a porn story. I mean, usually if you're done in the first 5 minutes, I'll be in as soon as I can. I know it is. A deaf man is suing adult film giant Pornhub because he claims it doesn't have subtitles on its videos. Yaroslav Foreign has allegedly filed a lawsuit under the Americans with Disabilities Act. You've already said this. As he can't understand some of the website's saucy clips. He is now going after Pornhub as he wants them to be more inclusive, according to reports, and he hopes to win damages. Really? Damages? Does this mean that blind people are going to end up suing them because they can't see the porn next? Because it's not got a fucking description on it. And the man's not confused in the movie. And yes, you can clip that, by the way. He claimed he was watching. He claims he watched titles including Hot Step and Babysit's Disobedient Nephew. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's incest. And Sexy Cop just witnessed the talk and was left confused. Well, be honest, I was watching a fucking Step on and an aunt and their nephew. I'd be pretty confused as well. But the website's vice president has dismissed the claims, pointing out that there's a whole category with closed captions. He told TMZ, "We understand that he is suing Pornhub for claiming we've denied the deaf and hearing impaired to access to our videos." While we do not generally comment on active lawsuits, we'd like to take the opportunity to point out we do have a closed captions category. Pornhub recently published its figures for 2019, which revealed the site had an average of a whopping 150 million visits per day. Not bad.
That's not for porn site.
I think Pornhub is the biggest porn site.
Hi.
I think Pornhub is the biggest porn site everywhere.
Yeah.
Can't get it.
Peter probably does 149 of them.
Well, he actually has videos on Pornhub.
Hi.
I'm saying he actually has videos on Pornhub.
uh,
Do-do-do-do-do.
they ain't gay porn, is it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's because he has a friend who's like an amateur porn artist, so he commentates over it.
Uh,
I don't know how much money he gets off of it right enough, but
yeah.
so now John Jungle have videos on Pornhub. Yeah, but they actually put their YouTube videos on there though.
Do they?
Yeah, just they use it as a backup
Uh,
in case YouTube fucks them over again, which it does a lot. Brexit Party candidate says Willie bin Bed can solve Britain's homeless problem. I mean, I guess it's better than sleeping rough, I guess, but
yeah.
at least you get some kind of protection. It's not ideal. Environment Brexit candidate claims he has come up with a solution to homelessness by dumping people in willy bins. A multi-millionaire, Peter Doe, has created a sleep pod. There's 2 willy bins, which he believes is the answer to keeping rough sleepers dry at night. He has now showcased his design in a video where he starts laying down the lid as a pillow before clambering in one half and lifting the second over his head. So he is now fully enclosed. The 2 willy bins are bolted together and can be modified with small solid squares to create air holes. Total cost of just £100. But the idea is struggling to take off with local homeless charities already trying to distance themselves from it. Well, I mean, I respect him for trying, but his idea struggled to take off with the is the latest wacky creation from Doe, 65 of Ely, Cambridgeshire, spelled incorrectly. He previously made his own fortune as a tech tycoon. He recently turned 150. Fucking hell. A 1,500 acre farm in Norfolk into a self sustaining community for like minded survivalists. As he said, he was hopeful his latest idea would gain some traction. As he stood as a Brexit Party candidate in the general election, said, "My hope is that if it works for homeless people like them, it will go global, and people like will be using these as sleep pods around the world." Wait, if that was the case, why don't more people sleep in bins then?
Yep. That sounds like a good idea until a trash truck shows up.
Or someone sets it on fire.
Yep.
I mean, I know Top Cat lived in a bin, but look at everyone else has to. It's a Marmite design. Some people think it's absolute genius, while other people are actually horrified. Oh, you can't put homeless people in rubbish bins, they say. My argument is I'm not putting homeless people in there, they're choosing it. Yeah, fair enough.
Yep.
But then if they're homeless, they're more likely poor, so how can they afford the £100 to get your design anyway?
Something better than nothing.
Because, I mean, if I had £100, I'd rather spend a few nights in a hostel or something. It seems like a better alternative to sleeping in a bin. All I'm doing is mitigating the rough sleeping environment into something a bit more comfortable and secure. The businessman said his first hit on the idea of using bins as a place to sleep when he built a prototype of a single-person car also made from a bin. Yeah, I'm messing around with them and got in and found it was dry and warm. Secondly, it's unbelievably easy to make. It is just 2 wheelie bins with 4 saw cuts and a couple of bolts. It was just one of those bright sparks. I thought this might work, so I can put it together, and got in and thought, yeah, this does work. Now all we have to do is figure out what the rough sleepers think is a good idea. I think your idea is probably going to fail. I respect you for trying, but yeah.
Yeah.
More serious stuff now. Also, remember to like and share the stream. Police alert as Holyrood far-right YouTube. Police alert Holyrood as far-right YouTuber doorsteps SNP, MSPs, and films exchanges. Sorry. The MSP is a member of the Scottish Parliament because even though we're part of the UK, we have our own Parliament. It's kind of confusing, I know, but there we go. Police have alerted Holyrood to a former Brexit Party candidate who has been doorstepping MSPs and fighting questions about Muslim rape gangs. I like how the Muslim rape gangs is in quotations, even though we know that Police Scotland covered this up. For those that don't know, Police Scotland covered up a Muslim rape gang that happened a few years ago during the whole migrant crisis, where a bunch of so-called refugees, none of which were actually Syrian, came into Scotland and decided to rape our kids, mostly young girls. So no, fuck you, they were Muslim rape gangs. Far-right David Palatine, who bizarrely appeared in global pop star Harry Styles' latest video, argued with officers after they questioned what he was doing. Valentine hit headlines after he was jailed in Dubai for failing to pay a taxi fare in 2013. I don't know what the fuck that has any kind of relevance to this article, but there we go. After being deported, he became a critic of Islam and stood in Edinburgh South West for Nigel Farage's party in December. He's behind the online guerrilla TV channel, which he has used to describe Islam as a child rapist death cult and defend far-right fog Tommy Robinson. Just because you use far-right and fog doesn't mean it's true. In one video shot outside Holyrood last month, he approached MSP Pauline McNeill and asked why the SNP had covered up the Muslim rape gangs. Well, that's because they did. They're the ones that took the so-called refugees in, and the refugees are the ones that raped them. The police arrested them, and nobody was informed about it whatsoever. Until eventually it got leaked a few weeks ago. After McNeill informed him she is a Labour MSP, he replied, but the Labour Party covered it up. I mean, he's kind of right. I mean, a lot of the ones down in England and Rotherham and stuff, the Labour covered them up. Labour covered them up for years. For years, various Labour MPs were told about that and did fuck all about it.
Don't make sense. You let people in your country, then they do bad things to the people.
Yep.
We got the same problem.
Yeah. That's why you should vet the people who come into your country.
That's like I heard statistics this morning. Obama let in 110, 111,000 immigrants every year, and everybody's raising hell because Trump's cut it down to 18,000.
Of course they are.
To me, if they ain't sponsored and can't sustain themselves, they shouldn't be here because we've got enough pull of our people on the systems we got.
Yeah. Hey, welcome, Trucker.
What's up?
About time.
Bite me.
I don't mind about it. There's only 3 people watching this, and there's 3 people on air, so.
Well, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
This first one in
It'll
quite a
get
while,
better.
so yeah.
I think class verbally with a police officer. He told him, "You've done enough here." He applied freedom of the press, officer. We are not living in a totalitarian system yet. Yeah, well, the SNP get their way. Soon we'll all be queuing up for bread. Another question, Ballantyne's media credentials after he said, "Officer, why was there a cover-up by the police with Muslim rape gangs in Scotland? With the Muslim rape gangs in Scotland?" Well, there was. There literally was a cover-up of Muslim rape gangs in Scotland. Why are you saying this? There wasn't? This has been proven. Stop fucking denying it for your own fucking agenda. Just accept the facts. I mean, okay, credit where credit. They did at least arrest them. I'll give them that. It's not like the ones in England where they just get raped for 40 odd years and do fuck all about it. But still. Yanid, do you not like to be annoyed, officer? The Scottish Parliament spokesperson said, "Police Scotland has brought to our attention the behaviour of a member of the public who has been persistent and increasing presence outside the Parliament over the last 2 weeks. He is not a member of the media and has been doorstepping MPs for YouTube interviews." Okay, I mean, like, you shouldn't shove a camera in someone's face. And then, there we go.
So are we looking at a Tommy Robinson 2.0 by chance?
Kind of, yeah. Even though he's not doing a trials, he's asking them why it was covered up. Because I don't know if you know about this, but there was it got leaked a few weeks ago about a Muslim rape gang in Scotland that got covered up.
Well, that's diversity. You know, religion and peace and love, and
all the refugees, none of which were actually Syrian. The individual is not considered a present threat, but members have been advised to contact the police if there are any concerns. That's whether he wanted to comment. Ballantyne said, "Just make it up, Paul. That's usually what you do." The record revealed last month that Ballantyne, as a supporting actor, made an unlikely appearance in Styles' new song, "Adore You." And I don't really give a fuck about that. That's just added filler, paid by the word. Bullshit. Yeah, fuck them. And I think people who watched Monkey in the Morning earlier would have probably heard about this a little bit, but because it's pretty fucking stupid, some people really are. I don't know how deranged some people really are. Classical architecture is now racist because Trump.
Okay. So architecture that's been around for what, probably hundreds of years.
Yeah. I'll get into the. I'll read the thing and get into the reason as to why they don't. Why they. Snugs McLeod, hello. Haven't seen you for a while. What's going on? We're doing a stream for the first time in a while. What's what we're doing? Obviously. Potential executive order aims to make federal buildings beautiful again, and President Trump's critics are losing their minds. Last week, art enthusiasts and journalists began pragmatizing about a draft of an executive order titled Making Buildings Beautiful Again. Its mission would be to keep new federal buildings from becoming modernist, brutalist eyesores such as the current structures housing the Department of Education, Department of Labor, and the United States Postal Service of the FBI building. Trump once said, perhaps accurately, honestly, I think it's one of the ugliest buildings in the city. And he's talking about the sculpture that's been around since the 1870s. So yeah, probably some of them probably been longer than that. Under this executive order, new federal buildings would have to follow more aesthetic Greek and Roman styles of the White House, the Capitol, the Supreme Court, and the Treasury building, among others. For too long, architectural elites and bureaucrats have derided the idea of beauty, blatantly ignoring public opinions on style, and have quietly spent taxpayer money constructing ugly, expensive, and inefficient buildings. Well, Marion Smith, chairman of the National Civic Arts Society.
To be fair, some of those buildings in DC these days are just flat out ugly.
Yeah.
And I mean,
a lot more than that. Like, modern art in general is pretty fucking ugly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've seen, like, scribbles on a page. At least I've seen, like, scribbles on a wall that a 2-year-old could have done being sold for millions. I'm thinking, I want to get into this business.
Well, around DC, there are buildings. Now, these are actually, a lot of them are private company buildings, and they're just outside of DC. But some of these weird damn designs they have for these buildings these days are just flat out ugly. I mean, there's, like I said, there's one just outside DC. It looks like one of them damn giant sandwalker things from Star Wars. The things that Jawas were always driving around in.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. Columns are going to kill us all. We agree. This executive order gives voice to 99% the ordinary American who do not like what our governments have been building. More Roman columns and fewer slabs of concrete sounds like an aesthetic choice we all should be able to get behind. Not in the year 2020. Everything has to be controversial. Here's the sampling of some of the outrageous headlines on the subject. Art now. President Trump wants to make several buildings beautiful again with new executive order that echoes fascist history. Yep.
Yet they support the government that builds these ugly ass buildings with no say so. See the problem there?
Yeah. Forbes, the dark side of Trump's architectural fantasy. The Guardian. Will Trump make architecture great again? The dark history of dictator chick. And I say, I don't know. The New Republic. Don't sing about architecture. The ignorance and racism behind the right-wing push for classical federal buildings. Yeah. Like, if you like old buildings, you're now fascist. What's so fascist and racist about buildings, about wanting buildings to be beautiful? Critics pointed out that how The order recalls similar mandates by fascist leaders like Mussolini and Hitler. So basically, because Mussolini and Hitler liked classical architecture, if you like classical architecture, you are also a fascist. This is the level people have dropped to now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the thing: it's like, do you like animals? Well, guess what? You're Hitler, because Hitler also liked animals.
Do you drink
And
water? Hitler drank water. Well, I guess George Bush was all right then, considering that monstrosity of the Marine Museum in Quantico, Virginia, probably one of the ugliest buildings I've ever seen in my life, was built during George Bush. Oh wait, no, crappy. That was born during or that was built during Obama, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Ugliest damn building I've ever seen.
We turn to classical aesthetics as a way of promoting nationalism. Notes the article in ArtNet. Never mind that such leaders as Thomas Jefferson were also proponents of classical aesthetic, and never mind that Washington already houses many beautiful classical buildings, and fascism hasn't arrived here just yet. In the New Republic, an architectural critic writes that the reversion to mandatory classical style reflects the architectural philosophies of white supremacists online. And what? So liking all buildings makes you a white supremacist and a fascist and a racist and all these other things.
I kind of, something in the back of my head while listening to this story still screams that they're arguing over the architecture of the buildings themselves when they should be arguing about the constitutionality of the departments and agencies that these buildings house.
Yeah, but it's far easier just to criticize the building itself.
It is. Doesn't make it right, though.
So wait, ugly modern.
Tell you what, lefties. My father, I grew up just outside of DC. My father commuted into DC every day my entire life to the same building in DC. Back in World War II, this was actually a repurposed building for the Department of Education. And this building was repurposed. How about we just restore that back to what its original purpose was? Oh, wait, y'all don't like weapons inside of DC, and this was a torpedo warehouse. Never mind.
Yeah, that actually went on. That was actually fighting fascists at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fascist building that was used to fight fascists.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
And then the thing is, they're yelling and screaming about Trump saying he wants one style of building when they're saying they want another style of building. If you really want to sit and say fascism because you like one particular type of architecture over another, that's pot calling kettle there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think what kind of architecture you like has fuck all to do with politics.
Right. But then taking that and making it political shows your own bias.
Yeah. Ugly modernist architecture combats racism. At least that would provide some justification, but then the offer clarifies neoclassical architecture isn't always a right-wing dog whistle. Well, that's good to know. If a Democratic president were to issue an executive order favoring the classical style, critics would likely respond, saying that it's simply a matter of taste. Oh yeah, not wrong. If Trump says there are too many ugly buildings in DC, which there are, he turns him into a racist dictator, and the left wonders why Trump got elected in the first place. Well, yeah, I can't disagree. It's not as if they don't have valid arguments against him. They can have against him, but it's a lot easier just to say, "Oh, you like a classical, but you're racist."
Yeah.
Probably says he'll be back in a few minutes. No worries. Uh-huh.
You were not just humming Baby Shark.
I said, that's not Baby Shark.
Oh yeah, Baby Shark do 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 do.
Well, it wasn't meant to be. Yeah, I've already sung Baby Shark twice. Once on this stream,
Yeah.
once on.
Yeah. You have.
I know this is pretty old, but yeah. 32 stone woman gets engaged to feeder who makes her eat 1,000 calories a day. Now, I don't know how much 32 stone is in pounds, but I know it's 14 stone to 1 pound. No, I know it's 14 pounds to 1 stone, sorry. So it's worked out for you.
And 1 pound is no 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. Or is that
Anyway,
backwards?
it's quite a lot.
Yeah.
A 32 stone woman has opened up about how she is set to marry the man who encourages her to eat 10,000 calories a day. That's about 4 or 5 times what the average person should be eating. So, Jessica Wilson was searching for someone to become her feeder when she met Eric Budenhagen. Or Budenhagen. Guess it depends where you're from. A customer service manager who was interested in finding a larger woman that he could overfeed. Being up for their first date in August 2019, Jessica, 26, and Eric, 34, ate pizza, watched movies, and played video games together. He also revealed him to hit her dream piling on further 10 stone to reach a goal weight of 42 stone. Which I think 40 stone is about 600 pounds.
About that.
A lot. This one. Unless it's a male.
And that wouldn't be so bad. Her weighing 40 stone wouldn't be so bad if, I don't know.
What was that, sorry?
I was saying weighing 40 stone wouldn't be so bad if she was 8 feet tall.
Yeah. This 1 month later, the happy couple were having regular stuffing days. Which see Jessica munch up to 10,000 calories with Eric's encouragement. Good grammar there, by the way. You mean which saw?
See, my wife and I had regular stuffing days, but we were referring to a different activity. Took a second, huh? Mm-hmm.
I got it. In December, Anik proposed to her by hiding a ring in an ice cream sundae. How can you get that fat? Well, I mean, if you're eating 10,000 calories a day, it will happen eventually.
Heart disease.
Heart disease, probably potentially diabetes, lack of mobility.
Choking because dumbass decided to hide the ring in food.
Yeah. Now the couple are hoping to achieve Jessica's goal weight and get married this year to continue their feeding journey together. Jessica from Westchester, Pennsylvania said, "We met on a website. There's people in the feeder community. Basically, people who like fat people."
Yeah.
I was initially looking for a feeder and someone who loves bigger women, but I never expected to find a fiance. It was really love at first sight, and initially we were more interested in getting to know each other than we were gaining weight, so we didn't start our feeder and feedee relationship until roughly 1 month later. On the normal day, I eat 5,000 calories, but on a stuffing day, which we do twice a week, I can eat up to 10,000 calories. Even 5,000 is still like double what you should be eating. On a stuffing day, Eric will take me to the buffet and we'll order different foods throughout the day to see my stomach swell whilst I'm eating. He'll rub my belly and give me words of encouragement. Okay. I'll give it about a year and you'll regret it immediately. Eric and Jessica lie on two different ends of the spectrum. We have completely different bodies. Eric is 6'1", 190 pounds, 13 stone 5. Meanwhile, I'm 5'5", 450 pounds, 32 stone 1. But he finds my belly sexy. I'm underweight and that has problems of its own. Yeah, you must be one of those people that has a really high metabolism then.
If she's eating herself into an early grave because he finds it sexy, I don't think she's the one with the problem.
I think they both have problems.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's not her. It's not all her that's messed up.
Yeah, I think they're both fucked in the head.
Yep.
Despite being obese, Jessica claims that she's in fact healthy and takes measures to ensure she's not putting herself at risk. Next to doubt. Menus for a typical day on a stuffing day. Typical day: breakfast, coffee, fruit, and 2 bagels. Lunch, large pizza, chicken wings. Dinner, large pizza dish. A large pasta dish, sorry. Snacks, fizzy juice, fizzy drinks, energy drinks, chocolate crisps. I mean, that doesn't sound that bad. I've seen a lot worse than that.
Yeah, but how much?
Well, that's just a typical day.
Yeah, no, but if it's just saying does she eat crisps or does she eat like 10 bags of crisps?
I don't know. I mean, I'm fat, but I usually have like 1 or 2 large meals a day. That's it.
Mm. I snack throughout the day. I have to. It's never much.
You know, that's just diabetes, isn't it? You can't actually have like a large meal, can you?
Well, I can if I want to sleep 12 hours.
Yeah, I can't imagine that's healthy.
Mm. It's shocks your system.
Hmm.
Your body can handle it better when you get small amounts of food several times a day as opposed to a large meal. Kind of like a light bulb. Think the old filament light bulbs. If it's dim, but you slowly turn the power up to brighten it, it'll actually last a lot longer. If it's turned off, then all of a sudden you just flip the switch and there's that burst of electricity going through it. Yeah, it's usually the shock that'll actually that'll bust the filament in an old style light bulb. It's kind of the same thing,
Hmm.
or a good enough of analogy as far as a shock as opposed to a little bit at a time.
It's nothing there. Coffee, breakfast, coffee, fruit, breakfast, coffee, fruit, 2 bagels, lunch, all you can eat buffet. Dinner, 2 large pizzas, 8 chicken wings, stuffed cheese bread, snacks, brownie, fizzy drinks, crisps, chips. He said, I've never been told I'm fat and unhealthy. I've been told I'm fat and unhealthy my entire life from friends and strangers. Every doctor I visited is shocked to find out how healthy I truly am. No health issues at all. I get next to doubt. Blood pressure, cholesterol, and sugars, all well within healthy ranges. I just happen to be fat. Oh no, it's not you just happen to be fat. I mean, there's a reason why you're fat.
It's not that you have good blood pressure now. It's not that you're not diabetic now. It's not that you don't have uh, heart. It's the problem is your size is helping it develop.
And 10 years from now, it's not going to be the case, probably.
Right. When this shit goes awry, it goes awry fast. And it goes awry bad.
Yeah. It does aggravate me that people always associate fat with being unhealthy, and that's not always the case. No, but the vast majority of the time it is. It's coming from a fat person.
The absolute vast majority of the time, it is not good for your health.
I know there are some people that have like health problems that make them fat, but
those are few and far between.
Yeah. Most people that are fat are just fat because they are.
Yeah.
Lazy and eat a lot. I work every day, I eat lots of fruit, and I take multivitamins. Alongside having set days to show their love for the feeder community, Jessica admits that they include food in their everyday relationship and even monumental events. She said, I have a culinary arts degree. I absolutely love to cook. I spend a lot of time in the kitchen making amazing meals for both. We also love to incorporate food into our sex life, as it includes a new level of intimacy and something we both love to take part in our life. Okay. Most recently, the main way we have used our love for being feeder and feedy is when Eric proposed to me in December. And we already know about that, so I'm going to move on. On the theme of fat people. Another article about fat people. Fire crews called out 3 times a day to win fat Brits out of their homes. Yep. That is the thing.
Oh, I don't doubt it's a thing, but damn.
Overweight people have to be rescued 3 times a day by brave firefighters.
Oh my God. People, if it's getting harder for you to fit out the front door, the concept is take your ass to the gym while you still can fit out of the front fucking door.
Or even just go for a walk or something.
Yeah, go for a walk. Go for a walk, a jog, get a puppy. Let that little shit, chase that little shit for around. Hell, find some kids and play. It doesn't matter. Just get your ass to be a little more active.
I mean, RVA, I'm a fat slob as well, but I don't need a fucking fire crew to lift me out of my fucking room every day.
I've never had the problem. No, wait, no, that's wrong. I've only had a problem getting out of my front door one time, but that's because there was a couch wedged in it at the time.
Fair enough.
Yeah, moving furniture is a bitch.
Yeah. Figures released by the Home Office have revealed that fire crews are called out thrice a day to wince free obese Brits. See, it says free, they spelled free FREE, but I don't know if they mean free Brits as in like free people or free them as in free them from the place they're in.
Probably free them isn't free them from the place they're in.
Yeah, but it says to wince free obese Brits in a barbaric rescue.
I don't know then. How many of them are stuck in the bathtub?
Actually, I've heard stories about that. I've heard stories about fat people who went for a bath and got stuck. I also remember one that went into the shower and then the whole room, the whole floor collapsed on them and they fell on the floor below.
Ouch.
Scott is a lion, dog face, pony soldier. Cryptic, that makes no sense. The number of incidents in the country has doubled in 3 years from 587 in 2016 to 1,209 in 2019, Sun Online reports. And Brits say Americans are fat. Well, yeah, we're slowly getting there. That's what Joe Biden said.
Apparently, it's not that slow. Okay, we'll say at least the fire brigades are not cutting walls out of people's houses to get them out there yet. Are they?
Oh, I did hear it. I heard of one a few years ago about that, where someone did actually have to get their wall cut out.
Oh, great!
It was actually near me as well. It was in the local area.
There was a movie several years ago. I can't remember what movie it was, but I remember there was this one woman that just extraordinarily fat, to the point where the guy every now and then had to go down to the basement to stick another board under the floor where she was, just to brace it more and more. At the end of the movie, she ended up dying, and the people that were living in the house with her knew that they were going to show up with the crane and cut the wall out and all that stuff, and they're sitting there swearing it was so undignified what they're going to have to do to get her out. So they just grabbed their shit, set fire to the house, and walked away.
Regular incidents involve ambulance crew being forced to turn firefighters as the obese patients need urgent medical treatment, but are being trapped from leaving their home because of their weight. John Grove, 51, from Wolverhampton, was rescued from his fifth floor flat last month for the second time in 2 years. I think you should probably move in more ways than one.
Uh-huh.
It took 6
The
hours.
fact that they had to rescue your ass the first time should have been a fucking clue.
I'm not shiny for that. Yeah, neither am I. It took 6 hours to winch the morbidly obese 48-stone man using specialist hydraulic equipment which removes doors and walls.
We need to get him and the chick from that last story together so he can teach her his secrets.
Yep. I think it's 6 hours. That's almost a full shift spent working with them.
Well, let's be fair. It's 1 hour to actually get his ass out. The other 5 hours standing around going, that boy big. That's a huge boy.
The rescue is believed to have clocked up a £10,000 bill. Fire crews were called in to remove the body of Britain's fattest man, Carl Thompson, when he died in his flat in Dover in 2015. In 2012, Britain's fattest teenager, Georgia Davis, was rescued from her home in Aberdare near Welsh after organs started to fail. As I think she was, I believe she was the one that couldn't actually stand up. If I remember correctly. But then again, she lived in Wales, so there's no hope for you.
Fitting.
Georgia Davis was 19-year-old, weighs 63 stone. 63 stone. 60 fucking. Okay.
Jesus.
Is he though? Is he? Scotty is almost that fat. No, I'm not. Not lying, cryptic. Needed hospital treatment after abandoning another diet specialist. I put her on in a bid to save her life. It took 8 hours to free her from her home. But then again, she was never free because she lived in Wales.
You know, listening about these people makes me feel pretty damn good about my 24-stone ass.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm reading these kind of things. I feel bad about myself now.
Yeah. But the thing is, I'm also 6'3", and 6'3", and yeah, I'm not going through my little qualifications. I just don't feel so bad about being 24 stone.
I mean, Christ, never mind fucking sheep. She probably just grabbed the whole fucking sheep and just ate it.
God damn, she's got Popeye arms.
Yeah. She probably grabbed the whole sheep and just decided to eat it. Rescue operations include rising fat people out of their bath. With taxpayers paying an annual cost of £500,000 for the call-outs. Fire crews use 40-foot mannequins to train people how to rescue fat or obese people. Their job is to When the job is to stop fires and stuff, not to rescue someone who's too fat to get out their own fucking door. You know? Just why? Anyway, moving on from fat people to black people.
I got a feeling I'm going to have to go ahead and say disavow right now, just in case.
No. Black News Channel looks to shape up U.S. cable TV. Why do you need a black news channel? When I call it nigger news or something.
And that's why I said disavow. BET's been a thing for some time.
Yeah, don't they have their own news?
Yeah, there's BET, which is Black Entertainment Television, I think it was. Now, to be fair, they started out as an alternative to, MTV, VH1, music. But they've kind of turned into a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I think we have that channel over here now.
What, BET?
Yeah. I think it also shows the exact same bullshit you guys get.
Well, as long as you say bullshit, that's about it. I do kind of like when it comes to channels like that. A lot of these sports stations are going through a reckoning right now in America, and I'm kind of digging that. Where, like ESPN is flat out turned into CNN with footballs, and they're trying to change that. And as long as they're trying to change that, I can deal with that,
Yeah, I mean it's a sports channel. It should cover sports.
Right.
It shouldn't cover politics. I agree with the Scott. Yeah, see, someone agreed. Yeah. The first U.S. national news channel to cater to African American viewers is Launceston, Florida. The Black News Channel, BNC, will cover news culturally specific to the African American community. It's really hard not to be racist right now, but I'll try my best. Said the new cable news network. BNC said it plans to target the image gap and negative black stereotypes depicted in the media. Network executes. Fucking hell. I can't read today. For the first time in about fucking 6 months, this stream actually lives up to its title again. I've forgotten how to read, folks. I've forgotten how to read. Funny thing is, this stream actually taught me how to read. Anyway, I'm going to try again. Network executives said BNC, which hopes to reach 100 million views, 100 million viewers. That's a bit optimistic. I mean, even the most popular US TV shows and whatever else don't get 100 million viewers. That's like almost a third of your entire country. I don't see that happening.
Nah. Something in the back of my head is screaming about this channel is going to come up with a talking point, and then your CNNs, your CBSs, your MSNBCs are basically going to stick their head up these people's asses and say, this is what this community is saying. This is what this community is saying. So they're going to end up being that. I'm not saying it's for any, I'm not going to automatically say it's for any political purpose. It's because journalism in America has gotten rather lazy. So if these people make something, pull something out of their ass and say, it's because of this, it's going to be exactly what it says the entire time, where, CNN is going to say, well, these people say this, and the Washington Post is going to say, well, this channel says this, and everybody's going to pretty much start huddling behind them.
Yeah. But then will this happen with like Asians and Hispanics and stuff as well? Will they end up, if this takes off, I can see that happening.
Well, in the same sense, I mean, the same with BET. I mean, the same with this. There's something that already exists in a form. Like BET. There's for Latinos. Yeah. Hell, they even got Al Jazeera over here. So
Yeah,
it's
we have
going to
that
be,
as well.
yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all this plays out.
It would not be politically. It's supposed to be 100 million viewers. Would not be politically partisan. I'm gonna call bullshit on that one. The 24/7 channel, which went on air Monday, plans to offer original programming created by people of color for people of color.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, listen. When it boils down to it, if y'all think you can make money off this and you can make money, fuck, make all the goddamn money you want. But then realize shit like this isn't helping society, really.
No. Dividing people by race
Now,
is not a good idea.
No, it isn't. Hell, this definitely brings back something I heard in another stream earlier where somebody said, at this point, we ought to go over to Martin Luther King's grave, dig his ass up, hook him up to a generator for all the rolling over he's doing.
Yep.
But it's not helping. I mean, yeah. I will say it's kind of, part of me kind of likes the idea because it definitely takes the piss out of CNN, who will sit there and try to say, oh, we're the voice of the black person in America. Yeah, it definitely takes the wind out of that sail. So
the BNC will be run by J.C. Watts, a black former Republican congressman. I suppose it's being done by a Republican. Unless he's one of those people who cross the party lines and decides to leave a party for a certain reason.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the name.
Actually, I need to check this out now. I want to see what year he left. For one reason and one reason only.
To see if he's a rhino.
No, 2003. I want to see if he's one of those who left because of Trump.
Does it say what his district was?
It did, but I didn't catch it. According to Wikipedia, he was in office between 1999 and 2003.
So during Clinton years.
Well, Bush years, technically.
Well, Clinton into Bush, but yeah.
Congressman for Oklahoma.
Oklahoma can go kind of, they tend to be kind of red, but they can go either way, depending on the city.
Oh, just all yes, I am doing fine again.
Yeah. Tom of Gold City, what's going on, stranger?
I haven't heard from you in a while, actually. And former
How's
professional.
everything?
On the
I was just gonna say, Tom, how's everything going, bud?
and former professional football player and Bob Belanti, a white TV executive. So it's not all black then, is it?
What, have you hired one?
Well, apparently it's there's a white TV executive that's behind the thing as well. He's one of the people running it.
Well, that's one of the people behind it. I mean, if it's not, honestly, it's not racist if he hires as an executive the person who he thinks can best do the job first instead of thinking race second. Just saying.
I mean, it may have just been they decided just to come together and make this.
Yeah.
Mr. Waltz said the network would not be ideologically driven. Don't have to shit about that. John Marks, the Democratic mayor of Tallahassee.
Tallahassee. Yep. That's Florida.
Where the network is based, will also be part of the management team. The top investor in the project is Zahid Khan, the millionaire owner of Jacksonville Jaguars, the NFL team, and Fulham Football Club of the English Football League. Because he's not black either. He's actually a Pakistani American.
I think that when it comes to the partners in this little venture, that's kind of why I'm like, that's definitely bolstering what I'm saying. Hey, if y'all can make money off this, kudos, but just be very careful.
Oh, good. Thanks, guys. Hope you're both well too. Yeah, I'm all right. Just been taking a break from Discord, etc. More important, life stuff. Yeah, fair enough. We're not looking to be Republican or Democrat. Obviously, there will be current affairs, which we are totally specific to the African American community. But then, if it affects the African American community, often it affects every American. Doesn't that? I mean, am I wrong?
No.
Because you ask people, like, you go around asking people generally about the concerns they have, they'll probably give you the same answer regardless of race.
Well, they'll have the same concerns. I would say everybody has the same concerns. It's just the priorities differ. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Take say inner city, right? High crime, high traffic. High crime, high traffic. They're worried about, say your kid walks to school. You'd be worried about your kid getting robbed or getting hit by a car or, getting shot in some like not nice situation versus myself, who my priority would be to make sure my son isn't attacked by a wild animal on the way to work or on the way to school,
Again, that's because you live in a rural area, though. Like, I imagine that would happen to anyone who lives in a rural area, regardless of race, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying is we'd have the same concerns. It's just priorities would be different. Where, they'd worry more about that kind of stuff happening to them, but the threat of a wild animal, even as silly as a rabid squirrel, is still a wild animal.
MSNBC, Fox News, CNN, they may have African American faces on their shows, but they're not necessarily covering the community from a cultural perspective. It's American culture, though. I mean, African American media has played an important role in the struggle for U.S. civil rights and equality. But like the wider U.S. news media landscape, at a time of consolidation, declining ad revenue, and the growth of social platforms, it faces challenges. But yeah, those are the same challenges that every other news media faces, or really any kind of media. Conventional TV is slowly on its way out. Like, I haven't actually sat down and watched proper TV in years. Like, the only thing I watch on TV is the
Kind of
football.
liberating.
Yeah.
Kind of liberating, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the only time I've actually sat down and watched TV, I wasn't even watching it. It was wanted. Last time I was home, my wife had me sit in the kitchen. She actually started YouTube up on the television, brought up a video that I dropped, video I did last week, and she wanted me to see my son's reaction to when that video played, and he didn't realize I was in the kitchen. He didn't realize I was watching him. As soon as he heard that voice on that video, he went nuts.
And I wouldn't even count that as TV. That's YouTube.
No, it's right. It's just on the TV, but yeah.
Printing press stopped rolling last summer at the 150-year-old Chicago Defense newspaper, which once famed the 19th century abolitionist Frederick Douglass. That closure came in the same month that Ebony magazine, founded in 1972, folded amid bankruptcy struggles. At Punkenjunkter, would it be presumptuous to think that people living in ghettos would care more about changes in benefits, whereas someone like yourself would care about job availability?
No, it wouldn't be presumptuous to think that. I mean, it depends on which benefits you mean. I mean, job availability would be, when it comes to any ghetto area, job availability is just as scarce as it would be for me living in a rural area, because you take a city, for every person, take a 10-mile stretch around my house, right? For every one person living in that 10-mile area, there's close to 1,000. So in a case like that, even though there's, say there's 10 times as many jobs for me, or no, there's 10 times as many jobs available where they are, just the amount of jobs that are available per person is still extremely lower than what it would be for me. Does that make sense?
I think by benefits he means like welfare and stuff.
A lot of them, yes, but unfortunately, yeah, I see your point. I see your point on that. It's not presumptuous to think it. But that's why I like what I'm saying. They'd be worried more about that stuff, where take like around where I live, there are just enough jobs for everybody. But when you get to highly urban areas like that, where for me, just say it's a one job per person where I live. In urban areas, it would be, one job per 100 people, leaving those other 99 people pretty much on their own. So if they're getting some sort of assistance from the government, they're brought to rely on that assistance. Now, when it comes to job availability, that's where the whole creating jobs in areas and the politics of the area forcing these employers out have been so bad. But then politicians shouldn't demonize them for being there. They shouldn't demonize them more for leaving. Everybody's got to make a buck.
That does make sense. Yeah, I suppose it answers the question if there's more jobs per person, benefits matter more, even if you want to work. Cops approve Derek Mackay's creepy 4-year-long hounding of SNP activist Sean Cameron. I think this was the guy who fucking. Wait, he must have done this to more than one person then, because I remember one that was a kid who was only 16. An SNP activist who was hounded online by shamed MSP Derek Mackay for nearly 4 years will be interviewed today over this ordeal. Detectives asked to talk to Sean Cameron as part of his proven to activities by the former Scottish finance minister. Sean will attend St. Leonard's police station in Edinburgh at 1 p.m. to give officers a statement. He received dozens of unwanted messages from Mackay, including asking for naughty pics, despite being the politician just once at a fundraiser for MSP's Joe McAlpine's re-election bid. So a fucking MSP politician acting creepy about people. I've never seen that before. McAlpine reached out to him by text last Friday and said she was shocked and saddened by what happened to him. The SNP has contacted Sean to offer counselling and support, but he requested a simple apology from the party. I asked this at Monkey's chat earlier, but why the fucking hell are fucking retards still voting these fucking cunts in? Seriously.
Scared of change, possibly?
Well, Scottish politics is a weird one because Scotland obviously has its own parliament whilst also being part of the UK. And the trouble with a lot of the other parties in Scotland is that they're usually branches of the main UK ones. So the likes of Labour and the likes of Scottish Labour and Scottish Tories and that kind of thing are all branches of the main UK ones, and so therefore they're not very well funded.
Fair enough.
And so the only one that really gains as much funding is the SNP. Because then I think that they're the third largest party in the UK by membership. And so naturally they've got a lot of money. Mackay 42 resigned as finance secretary hours before he was due to deliver Thursday's budget. After it emerged, he sent messages to a 16-year-old boy. Yeah, that's In the online messages, Mackay invited the team to dinner at a rugby event, as well as calling him cute. Police have interviewed the youngster over the communications he received from the disgraced Renfrewshire North and West MSP. Sean from Edinburgh said the child's services got in touch with me on Friday. I'd like to give them a statement, suggest whether the crime had been committed. Wait, I'm confused. He said he was 25 and now he's saying he's 16. Maybe they meant to say he was 15, but why would they say he was 15 if he was 16? This has confused me now.
And at the time, maybe?
Yeah, I think maybe the 25 thing was a typo.
Yeah, possible.
Sean from Edinburgh said, all right, I told him I was more than happy to help. Sean said he met Mackay at an SNP fundraising dinner at the Cairndale Hotel in Dumfries in March 2016. He described how Mackay made a further beeline for him at a busy function. The same MSP who Sean banded creepy even suggested they got together at his Edinburgh hotel. His Edinburgh home, sorry, not hotel. Sean said, I've also received a message from Joe McAlpine. I was part of our campaign, and it was good to hear from. In a message, the South Scotland MSP wrote, sorry, Sean. Hi, Sean. I've just read the interview with you in the Daily Record. I want to say how shocked and saddened I am this happened to you, particularly as you say, it started at my fundraiser. Needless to say, I had no iota of this until reading it today. I would have intervened to stop it had I known. I'm really sorry. I'm really so sorry what happened to you. If I or the party can be of any help and support, please let me know. The SNP confirmed it was carrying out an investigation in the wake of revelations. Sean said he would be happy to speak to them. Because they're definitely going to sack him now. They sack people just based on allegations. So if it's confirmed, they're going to. You think they definitely sack him? Well, hopefully, anyway. Susan Ruddock, chief operator of the SNP, emailed Sean on Monday after we told his story. In their email to him, she wrote, I don't mind. Hope you don't mind me getting in touch. That's the following article. Don't mind me getting in touch following the article in the Daily Record. Within SNP headquarters, I am responsible for taking action for delivery of measures to protect health, safety, and well-being of members and people who might be affected by party activity. As such, I wanted to write you to let you know. With this support available to you, we take our responsibility extremely seriously, and I'm here to help you and can provide advice, counselling, and if needed, access to mental health support services. So basically, the guy's a creepy fucking bastard.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how old the kid was at the time, a paedophile. Because 16 is the legal age over here, but if he was 15 at the time, then he's a paedophile.
Yeah.
So hopefully, yeah, moving on.
Yes, carry on, please.
Talking of the Scottish government, we actually have more stuff. Let's talk about periods. If you wanted to know what we waste our money on,
Well, what spends money on?
if you wanted to know what we spend our money on,
Sure. What do we spend our money on?
well, yeah, Miss Scotland teams up with communities. Oh, fuck. The community secretary to
The hell?
what?
I don't know. I had to chat up, brought the chat down to see the picture, and I'm looking at a tampon.
Miss Scotland teams up with communities secretly to tackle period stigma.
It's
Secretary, sorry.
it's nowhere near as much of a stigma as they would like people to think. Just saying.
No, it's not. Sorry, on you go.
I mean, I think the only people there's a stigma for is those who are ashamed of it themselves. I mean, women have their period. That's it. It happens, you know?
Community Secretary Eileen Campbell has teamed up with Miss Scotland to mafia for the initiative, which is aimed at teenagers and females aged 16 to 24. Let's Call Periods. Periods campaign comes after the UK-wide research found nearly 47% of women said they feel uncomfortable discussing periods with their fathers. Well, I mean, I feel uncomfortable talking about things like that with my dad as well, if it was me, to be completely honest. I would think that was a big deal.
I mean, maybe that's your own stigma, being afraid to talk to your dad about something. I mean,
If he's the only one you got to talk to, then
yeah, that's your problem if you don't want to talk to him. I mean,
yep.
Hell, my wife's. There's a lot of things that are uncomfortable, but you have to have uncomfortable conversations. Period. I mean,
yeah, literally periods.
But I'm bummed.
Yep.
Relating wise, I know why. My wife and I know we're gonna have to have that conversation with my boy when he's old enough to realize something. It's like when he, it's gonna be that inevitable. One day he's gonna walk in and ask me, why the hell do I have a snake wearing a helmet and he's got a worm? My boy's not circumcised.
The same survey found 52% of women hide sanitary products when taking them to the toilet or not to embarrass others. Well, I mean, it's not the kind of thing you would just put on the table, is it?
Nope.
I mean, just put it in your bag and it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I know for a fact there's literally things in the fucking toilet you can change your.
Yeah, we're not talking an '80s commercial here, people. You remember that, Crappy? A mother and a remember those '80s commercials? The mother and a daughter walking to the grocery store.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the younger woman looks over and says, "Mom, do you douche?" Do you remember that?
Yeah. Morning Eve commercials, I believe.
Summer's Eve.
Summer's Eve, yeah. Hey,
Or
I had the Eve right.
Yeah, either Summer's Eve or Massengill.
Yep.
Mom, do you pour vinegar up your pussy? Sorry, Scotty, continue.
43% saying they feared others might make a joke about them. Well, learn to take a joke. Not more I can say about that. Just learn to take a fucking joke. Either. The Scottish government has already taken action to make community products freely available in schools, colleges, and universities.
Tell you what, any Scottish gal of legal age, if you would like to be spared the discomfort of your period, come talk to Crappy Sir or myself. We can end them periods for 9 months at a time.
They had to get a hysterectomy.
Oh, Christ. Sorry, Scotty.
Campbell said since then she had seen I've heard about many brilliant examples of students and schools challenging the stigma by making it easier for everyone to talk about periods. Why? Like, she said, we don't want this momentum to stop. And this is why we have launched an initiative campaign to make everyone feel more comfortable discussing periods with their friends, family, and others. Ultimately, this is about dignity and respect and being more open. The stigma associated with periods needs to disappear. And like I say, it was really that much of a fucking big stigma anyway.
Who's this stigma for? Who the hell's this stigma about? When they want to, if they want to talk to their fathers about it, the dads are expecting that conversation sooner or later, and they realize that talk to your mother's not always going to work. So who's the stigma on? It's you.
You know, these are the same people that complain there's no money for like hospitals and benefits and fucking shit, but at the same time they will fucking spend money on shit like this.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, shit. I mean, hell. Think of it this way. When it comes to stigma like that, I mean, goddamn. Look at how your dad's gonna. Most dads think about it. If the girl says, "Dad, I need pads. Can you go to the store and buy pads for me?" The guy will walk in, grab them, walk up to the cashier. The cashier will give him that look. Hey, he's getting dad points for getting her pads. Now, if your wife says get pads, that's when you can look at the cashier and say, "Yep, I'm getting a blowjob tonight." The stigma.
I picked up tampons for my granddaughter.
Yeah.
yeah, we
Okay,
should not
that's
feel like
creepy.
we have to use euphemisms or
No.
code words for periods. But we can be empowered to have frank discussions about what they are and how we feel for anyone feeling embarrassed. You know, I'm pretty sure if you've made it to the age of 16, if you're between the ages of 16 and 24 and you don't know what a period is by now, I think you have problems.
Yeah. And what's this about code words? Code words will only make it worse.
Wait, there's also a video I want to show as well.
Let's see.
Yeah, and it's amazing to see so many people take part and support this campaign and to hear about their experiences, so many of which are all too familiar. It's time to call it the stigma period and call periods. Matthew said, despite periods being a monthly reality for billions of us all over the world, but okay, that's even more concerning if your name is Matthew and you get fucking periods. I mean,
a different Matt, people.
well, Matt gets periods. That's you know.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he's married because Crappy can vouch for me this one. Because when your wife gets a period, you get it. And how do you get it?
Yep.
Some people would rather say time of the month for golf painters rather than period. We need to start talking about periods more openly so we can tackle the stigma surrounding it. She added, are you sure the name's fucking Matthew then? I'm confused now. Even more confused than I was before.
Well.
Okay. By having more conversations, we can stop feeling embarrassed and ultimately stop period shaming. Let's say straight, call periods.
If you want to stop period shaming, it's not about shaming. It's not about anybody else shaming. Stop being so fucking embarrassed of it. Hell, look at take someone like myself. I've got bigger tits than Blind Girl. Do you hear me? Do you hear me saying anybody shaming me over it? No. Hey, Blind Girl, listen and weep. I have bigger tits than you.
I mean, you're shaming yourself by doing that.
I'm not shaming myself. I'm not shaming myself. I'm proud of my size and the abilities that my size and my body structure allows. I'm happy that I can pick Blind Girl up, throw her over one shoulder, pick you up, throw you over another shoulder, and walk down the street like that.
How much you can carry? Because I weigh like 18 stone.
Give me a moment to figure out 15 stone. What, about 200 pounds?
18 stone.
18 stone. 280 pounds, give or take.
Roughly,
right? Yeah, I can pick you up and carry you. I don't think it's an over the shoulder thing. Like, I can't throw you up like a sack of potatoes, but I can carry you around. I think the max I can lift is about 23, 24 stone.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yep. And now we turn into King of the Hill. Yep. Yep. Uh-huh. Yep.
Now give me 2 seconds. I'm being an idiot now.
Yeah, no worries. Jesus.
And flow. Time with the Mon. Shark Week.
That's this like
And flow.
The Red Sea.
Got the painters in.
shit.
The Red Sea.
Time with the Mon. Shark Week. And flow.
The Red Sea.
Got the painters in. On the blob. Avoiding the word period suggests there's something to be ashamed of. So some of us tuck tampons up our sleeves, are scared of leaking, or think it's something.
Can't you just put it in your bag or your purse or something? Wouldn't that make more sense?
Uh-huh. Oh my
Jacket
God.
pocket or just in general.
Oh my God, I'm still trying to get over Shark Week.
We should hide at all costs. It's time we started a conversation, one that begins by calling periods.
Yeah, that's
I don't have a problem with what they're saying. I don't. I mean, call it what it is. I got no problem with that. But the problem is, when everything else in your life you want to come up with code words for, if you want to sit there and do people of color, or if you don't want to say a Muslim and instead say an Asian person, when you come up with code words for every goddamn thing else in politics and news and real life, don't be surprised if somebody comes up with a damn code word for this too.
it's just code words for everything though.
Yeah. It's political correctness run amok. It sounds more like they're upset that it's hit their periods too.
Yeah, basically. Maybe here's another one that's gonna piss me off. Another retarded Guardian article.
I'm more laughing and thinking of other things like Ant Flow. Help me out here, Crappy.
Do what? I heard part of it. What'd you say?
So they're sitting there saying the Red Sea and Shark Week and all this. I'm sitting here thinking, well, what about Ant Flow? I mean,
flying a flag.
Dipping the blood biscuit.
Yeah. Horse in the mud.
Uh huh.
Cock stopper.
Red Wings.
Yeah. So Emma Begum is British and her citizenship should not be revoked. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Moral principles are rarely verified by easy cases. It's more difficult. It's difficult ones. The ones that cause most debate and hostility. These are truly tests of moral metal. I don't know. Consider the question of citizenship. Most people agree. The members of the Windrush generation, British Caribbean migrants who came to Britain, our children or were born here are British citizens, even if they don't have a piece of paper to prove it. Yes. But they were not, none of them have gotten involved in a fucking terrorist organization. She has. So the whole idea of comparing them to people who actually came here, have worked hard and made a better life for themselves. Who's really the bigot here? The attempt to deport a group as foreign criminals provides a harder test. The government claims that as criminals, the deportees have no right to stay. Are they not committed a crime? Many would have been regarded as British even without documentation. The fact that crime should not change that moral principle or take the most typical cases of all. Those relating to British terrorists. Last week, the Hannes Bryant, Shemema Begum lost their appeal against revocation of her citizenship. A special immigration appeals commission accepted that revocation was legal. And she could be a citizen of Bangladesh by descent. Yeah. Most will think it right that Begum should be stripped of her citizenship because of her support for the Islamic State. It's not even just support. She literally moved from the UK, went over there to join them. This was all on her own thing. If she's old enough to go there by herself, she's old enough to accept the responsibility of doing so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she moved over to a Muslim. Okay, so she moved to a Muslim country to take part in the Muslim lifestyle. Now, did she fight against whoever it was they're fighting against?
Well, she literally joined ISIS, so I'm going
Then
to
that
assume.
means she denounced her citizenship. You are no longer a citizen. Sorry about your luck. And if you want to come over here, fine. Or if you want to come back, come back. The moment you set foot on
I would
land,
let
you're getting
back.
tried for treason. Hmm.
I would let back in.
Well, no. What I'm saying is the moment moment you set foot on the moment you set foot back, you are tried for treason.
I mean, for me, one of the few good things Theresa May actually did was strip her of her citizenship.
Yeah.
The real issue, however, is not about what she believed, what she did or believed. It's about putting on his moral responsibility. She is a British citizen, and however terrible the acts that she may have committed, she remains Britain's responsibility. Well, no, she relinquished that responsibility as soon as she decided to join ISIS.
Mm-hmm.
Tough luck. Move to fucking Canada or something. Go to Bangladesh and then try to move to Canada or something. They'll take you in. I know they accept fucking ISIS fighters into their country.
Well, don't send them to Canada. That's too close to here.
I'll build the wall for Canada as well. There we go. I mean, no offense to like Ellen or Jen or Blind Girl or whoever the fuck may be watching this, but still, you can have them. uh, not responsibility of the Kurdish forces who hold the northern Bangladesh, the country of her parents' birth. A year ago, I observed that politicians often claim that what separates the nations such as Britain from the barbaric of ISIS is humane values, and that it's in these hard cases we discover how true that is. This is still the case today. So that was it. That was shorter than I expected. He didn't exactly give me one fucking convincing reason why the fuck she should be let back in any capacity whatsoever.
I'd say I think they're probably trying to appeal to your she wants to be here, therefore she deserves to.
Well, no, she doesn't. In a kind of related article. Loads. Yeah. Yeah. Teen who criticised Islam on Instagram moves school. I wonder if she was forced to move school or.
Say what now?
A French teenager who criticised Islam on Instagram has moved to a new school after receiving death threats.
Isn't that? This sounds like the teenager I heard about the other day, who they wanted to charge this kid with hate speech, even though France doesn't have any specific hate speech laws.
I mean, they do now, I think. Yes, I'm sure they do.
Maybe the laws weren't to the extent of what they wanted to charge this kid with. I don't know.
Educational Minister Gabriel Attal told broadcaster LCI on Monday that they had found a new school for her to allow her to continue her life. Yeah, I'm quite surprised, actually, they aren't completely blasting her. Does this mean the French government is Islamophobic? How dare you? Mila 16 sparked a national row over free speech when she called Islam a religion of hate. Teen's criticism prompted fury, but also drew support in France, where there are no laws against blasphemy. I'm not sure there be.
That's what it is. It's blasphemy laws they're trying to get her with.
I thought in Britain we don't actually have blasphemy laws, but there's fucking laws that you can get offended by something or whatever, and then that's a crime. So therefore, it's kind of like having blasphemy laws, but not.
Yeah.
How they get away with it. Her comments about Islam came after receiving homophobic abuse from a Muslim commentator. Supporters started the campaign. Supporters started the hashtag Just Be Mila, while critics responded with Just Be in Paz Mila, which isn't translated into English, even though they translated the other one into English, lazy BBC. And you won't be able to pay you more money, do you? Go fuck yourselves. She was not returning to school after making remarks, but on Monday, Mr. Athol said they had found a solution and would be moving to another school which had not been made public to protect their safety. France has a strictly secular constitution, but also has a large Muslim population. There have been frequent clashes over policy in recent years, such as the government ban on face veils in public. In October, French President Emmanuel Macron warned against stigmatizing Muslims and linking Islam with fighting against terrorism. Controversy began after Miller did a live broadcast on her Instagram account and speaking about her sexuality. She was called a dirty lesbian by a Muslim commenter. In response, Miller posted an attack on Islam. I hate religion. The Quran is a religion of hate. She said before, using stronger words towards Islam. I'm not racist. You cannot be racist. You cannot be racist towards religion. I said what I thought. You're not going to make me regret it. Some responded with death threats and began posting personal information online, including where she went to school. Yeah, you said something we don't like, therefore we're gonna adopt you.
See, the problem is her just saying it's a religion of hate. That sounds like reaction to them fussing about her.
Yeah, they hate her because she's a lesbian. So why would she like the religion? Controversy generated a nationwide debate on blasphemy. The creator comments as offensive to Muslims, but then in her opinion, then you could say the Muslims, the person who commented that she's a dirty lesbian would say that she's being offensive to people who are lesbians. So, although the head of the French Council of Muslim Faith, Mohammed Moussi, said nothing justified death threats, no matter how serious her remarks. French Justice Minister Nicole Bellier, I don't know, French, foreigner, also weighed in the controversy, saying that death threats against the teenager were unacceptable. I have a sleepy tone in face, gonna have a nap. Oh yeah, fuck Islam. Yeah, nice face, said Mail. Chuck, I didn't disavow it.
I kind of give up.
The opinions expressed on feeling of reading the news do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the co-hosts. There we go.
That'll work. This whole article screams to me. This whole story screams a lot of tit for tat for me. It's almost like they planned on something like this to happen, because it started out as a story of she did something awesome and she was openly lesbian. So this one guy started pretty much bashing her, and they all started bashing her for being a lesbian. So she commented on the bashing. She commented on everybody bashing her for being a lesbian. And now they want to charge her for her reaction to their bad mouthing her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just.
And they also doxed her and sent her death threats.
Yeah.
You trying to say stupid, trucker?
No, I'm not saying stupid. I'm saying it's almost Machiavellian. Like it was planned to happen like this.
Yeah.
However, Miss Foreign herself was criticized after arguing that attacking religion was a freedom of consequence, saying that in France it is forbidden to insult followers of a religion, but no one can insult a religion.
She's not a member of your religion, dipshit.
Its figures, its symbols. Miss Foreign later said her comments had been clumsy. Yeah, right. Only clumsy because you got criticized for them.
Mm-hmm. How about it was on the books that you couldn't fuck with her for being a lesbian? It was on the books first that you couldn't fuck with her for being a lesbian, so she wins.
Miller's case has been embraced by the far-right National Rally leader Marine Le Pen. Said Miller had more courage than the entire political class in power for the last 30 years.
I have no real problem with that, especially considering most of Europe, the far left would be equivalent of the centrist in the U.S. So have at it, bud. You know?
Well, no, the centrists over here would be the equivalent of your far left over there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If she's being defended by y'all's far right, the far right over there would be the centrist over here.
Speaking in our only interview amid the controversy, Mila apologized for insulting people who practice their religion in peace. But while she regretted the vulgarity of her own words and the spread online, she defended her remarks. I have absolutely no regrets about what I said. It was really my fault, she told the interviewer. Yeah. That's just being fair to me.
Yep. Don't dish it out if you can't take it.
Yeah.
She's not the one who originally dished it out.
Yeah, I know. But the people that originally dished it out didn't like it because they got something back.
True.
So don't dish it out if you can't take it.
Yeah, true. True. What if it's Green Thunder? Because I had an article for Green Thunder, but he's not here, so I'm not going to read it. It was about penguins.
Oh, I haven't heard from him since yesterday.
I think he came into the Discord voice chat like yesterday, but that was an absolute shambles in there, so I think he just like
Mama's probably trying to talk him out of that statement Peter put up the other day. You know, the one he said where he just.
Oh, no. That's he's not the one. Peter's not the one who played it. Scotty was.
Oh, okay. Hell, that's even better.
yeah, Scotland's new pro-family political party stops condemning drag queen from performing in school. A new pro-family political party in Scotland stopped a drag queen from performing at a local high school after producing a video highlighting the disturbing graphic sexual nature of his regular acts. Yeah, because that's a thing that should be shown in schools, isn't it?
My problem, I think my problem when it comes to drag queens is they're trying to turn it into its own sexuality where it really should not be.
Yeah, and they're trying to push it onto kids as well, which they don't like.
Yeah. I think I liked it better when the whole concept of the drag queen was men making fun of women.
I mean, if you're a man and you like dressing up as a woman, whatever, I don't really care. But don't make it to this thing where you should have to perform a sex act in front of kids.
Yeah. It's turned into a far cry of what it was.
Yeah. Richard Lucas, the leader of the Scottish Family Party, wrote to Dumbarton article highlighting the party's concerns about the school's upcoming Happy Face, yearly celebration of queer arts, scheduled to take place later this month. In particular, we note the inclusion of 2 drag acts, Lucas wrote at the Scottish Family Party. We are envious such acts promote a philosophy of gender fluidity that is confusing and dangerous to young people. We're also aware that the drag scene is often associated with less than positive values. Actually, this party isn't actually that new. They've been around for a while.
Oh.
I've known them for at least a few years. I'm sub to them on YouTube. Yeah. In particular, we note the inclusion of a drag artist by the stage name of Ivy Adams. I don't know. Furthermore, we notice that your Twitter is using on Twitter. You're using your own Twitter account. You've liked the tweet from your skill's LGBT allies account, announcing his inclusion. The fuck does the skill need an LGBT allies account for?
Got me.
Actually, I think I know why. Because Scotland made a law where the LGBT is across the entire school curriculum now.
Ah.
Honestly. Oh, they were all so fucking proud of that, weren't they? I hate my own too, honestly. After including a link to the video the party produced about the drag queen, Lucas continued, "I'm concerned you are bloodstained. With a bloodstained dress, foul language, graphic, sexual, vulgar. I want to eat your." I'm not going to eat that. I'm not going to say that. That's going to get clipped. It's a statement of someone saying they want to eat someone's genitals. So yeah. Overtly sexual women, such as masturbatory notions. What was that? Sorry.
You don't think somebody's already got you saying worse?
Yeah, I don't want more of that.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Screwed fig female genitals and the extraction of a condom from his mouth. We assume this invitation was extended to Ivy Adams without the knowledge that he is secretly entirely unsuitable for the role for your school children. Player continues. Similarly, we hope you now regard your endorsement expressed through your liking of the announcement tweet as regrettable now that you have more information, and also hello Red Feather. So we invite you to retract your endorsement of this act in your school and cancel this performer. If you reply by Wednesday, the 5th of February, you'll be able to report your change stance, and we will comment publicly and contact media organizations with the story. In the event that we don't hear from you by then, we will assume that your position is unchanged, and we will commentate accordingly. We hope that you appreciate the community and reconsider the opportunity and reconsider what we are providing. On Tuesday, head teacher Claire Slow there, yeah, replied to Lucas informing him that Adamus had been cancelled. She expressed the school's commitment to ensuring that children and younger people who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, LGBTI experience an inclusive education and learn about LGBT issues at school. Why do you have to learn about this kind of stuff at school? Like, should it just be like, oh, you're gay, you're bi, whatever? Just okay. Isn't that enough? No.
I think as long as they're politicizing it, they're going to try to shoehorn it into schools.
Well, it's more than shoehorning it.
Yeah.
I think, if one of the students happens to be gay, bi, or whatever, then gay, bi, lesbian, treat them the same as everyone else and just teach them the same stuff. And they're trying to teach tolerance by cramming it down everyone's throats. Yep. And you become aware that one of the performers who was initially booked to perform had a video on YouTube which was not suitable for a teenage audience. We have since made the decision that he will no longer perform. We take this approach for performers at any type of school event. Responding to the school's decision, Lucas told LifeSite News, LGBT indoctrination in Scottish schools is a government policy. The Dunbar Grammar School seems to be particularly determined to instill the values of LGBTI into its pupils. We managed to pressure the school into cancelling one act, but it's a small victory. The rest of the show goes on in this school and most others. Yeah, look what happened to the kid who said there was only two genders. He ended up getting expelled from the school because of that.
Yeah, and they expelled him in a very messed up way too.
Yeah.
They suspended him until, from what I heard, they suspended him until, with promises of letting him back in once this all blows over. But once it all blew over and nobody cared about it anymore, they expelled him.
Yep, sounds about right. At the end of his video, Lucas called on the people of Scotland to elect Scottish Family Party MSPs so we can protect children all over Scotland. Well, yeah, I mean, he's going to use his YouTube platform to promote his own party. I have no issue with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, moving on. So if this is a policy, this is a police policy. What are the policies on immigration and crime? Well, it's a government policy. I don't say it's a police policy. I mean, the SNP's policy on the immigration is basically just open door, let everyone in. Government policy, my bad. Time for something more funny. Go on. Load. 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 I know you want to load. There we go. Agitated KFC customer in Wisconsin throws chicken, mashed potatoes at manager's head. A disagreement over an order of fried chicken evolved into a finger-licking food fight. KFC in Wisconsin over the weekend.
Oh God,
Police in
that wasn't even a good pun.
no. Police in Arkansas say a KFC customer
Close
returned
enough.
to the fast food restaurant on Saturday night demanding a refund after allegedly receiving a wrong order. When the employees initially offered to remake the woman's food, she became upset and started throwing a meal at the manager. I wonder what skin color this person was. It is a
Wonder if
case
her
that
name
makes
was
a lot of
Wonder if her name was Karen.
No, this doesn't seem like a car, and this seems more like a Keisha or something. I'm gonna disavow myself now.
Yeah.
More specifically, the woman threw the items from her meal: chicken, biscuits, and even mashed potatoes at the back of the manager's head, according to Fox 6 Now. Police were contacted, but local reports indicate the woman returned to her vessel after flinging the food at the manager. A representative for the Waukesha Police Department was not immediately available to confirm if they had apprehended the customer, or she's expected to face charges. KFC sucks. You have to check your order before you leave. They get it wrong every time. I've only ever been to KFC once, so I wouldn't really know.
I will side with John Panette on this one. KFC. Do you know what they have? They have chicken. You know what else they have? They have chicken. What's it going to be? It's going to be chicken or chicken.
Oh, chicken.
I ain't never had no problem with them.
Neither have I.
Yeah. Some people just don't like your barnyard pimp. That's all it is.
Although the last couple times I walked into a KFC, I've gotten dirty looks.
It wasn't all you could eat, was it?
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
walk in and ask for the Hillary Clinton special.
What's that?
You know, 2 left wings, 2 small breasts, and 2 large thighs. Anyway,
Women with 31 fingers and toes, cruelly branded by witch by neighbors. I mean, those are like duck feet. Like, that's just... I don't even know what's going on there. She doesn't seem to have any thumbs either. A woman with 31 fingers and toes has spent her entire life hiding in her home after being branded a cruel witch by neighbors. Yeah, did she absorb a twin? That's possible, but that wouldn't. But then that still wouldn't make sense. Kumari Nayak, 63, has whatever the fuck that is, a common abnormality at birth. When the person has extra fingers and toes. With 19 toes and 12 fingers, Kumari enters the Guinness World Record for having the most digits in the world. She said her condition has often plagued her for the eternity of her life. Polydactylism. Thank you, Red Feather. But she said her life and often feels forced to stay inside. She is not making enough money to get medical treatment and claims her neighbors call her a witch and avoid her in the street. Yeah, see, that's a bit harsh. Kumari from Gwanjam district in India said, I was born with this defect. I couldn't be treated as we belonged to a poor family. It has now been 63 years that I've had this condition. The residents nearby, who are too much in the blind phase, believe that I'm a witch and keep away from me. You know, all cultures are equal. Very advanced people there. They sometimes come to see my condition, but never help. You know, if I was there, I'd make money out of this. I'd become like a freak show of the time or something, and so you know, if people are gonna look at me, they can at least pay for it.
But she'd make a great massage therapist.
Seems like it would be useful. It'd be kind of useful. I bet she's kick-ass in Guitar Hero. I'm forced to stay indoors as I'm being treated differently, which is not what I expect. Treatment from my neighbors. One of the neighbors who was aware of Kumari's condition says others in their small village put too much belief in superstition. The neighbor said, I know that she has a medical problem and has nothing to do with what others believe her to be. I'm so sorry for her. She cannot afford to get herself treated. Across India, 134 people, mostly women, were killed for alleged use of black magic in 2016, according to the National Crime Bureau. Really? That this kind of shit still happens? Yeah. Okay. Some parts of the country to this day, women are accused of black magic are killed by lynch mobs under the guise of witch hunting. So India still lives in the Middle Ages, basically, is what I'm getting out of it. According to DW News. On you go.
I say he'd be good at climbing them banana trees over there and get bananas. All them fingers and toes, he could dig in.
Although she's getting older now, although she's 63, so she might not be able to do that now. Maybe when she was younger.
Yeah.
According to DW News, several Indian states in the lost or prevented, but activists say they're inadequate. I do feel sorry for her if her neighbors are being assholes, especially if they're talking ritualistically killing her. Yeah. That's what happens. Government officials in India, having heard of Kumari's plight, have offered her a home and a pension and are making attempts to spread awareness among her neighbors. Well, see, it's not all bad then, is it? She gets a free home and a pension. An administrative department spokesperson said, we are aware of her situation and have offered all possible helps. We are also educating her neighbors to treat her with love and compassion and that she is not a witch. Doesn't really say much about your country though. If you're still having to fucking teach people that people aren't witches. And that probably is racist, but I don't really care. Do. Sorry for the dead air.
Blah 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 blah.
Oh, fine, but we're not gonna go much longer anyway. I've been going for 2.5 hours.
Yep. And I got to boogie in a few minutes.
Blind trucking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll go till half past.
Okay.
1 in 5 British women feel marginalised at the pub, blaming sexism and male partner, study finds. A fifth of women feel marginalised when popping down to the pub because of their gender. Despite traditionally being seen as the heart of community, a visit to a local leaves many females feeling out of place. Well, that happens to a lot of people who are men as well. Maybe they just don't drink. You know, because if I was sitting in a pub and didn't drink, I would feel out of place. And if you're sober in a room full of drunk people are really fucking annoying, so yeah. Oh, who's this?
Bad signal.
Yeah.
If I drop out again, I'll just stay out.
Yeah, stream's not going to go on for much longer anyway. Male banter 29% and loud behaviour 42% along with sexism 55% and showing off 37% and among causes rather than the pub itself. In fact, many also feel this way when attending sports events, including rugby 12% and football 18%. Well, again, maybe they just don't like fucking sports. You know, did you ever consider this? And 12% feel uncomfortable around men when pursuing recreational activities such as poker. The results arrive at a time when workplace culture is also changing to prevent women feeling excluded by lavish banter. You know, maybe you like different things. It's all good to hail the great dead air spirit sometimes. Yes, it is. Last month, companies were encouraged to ban employees from chatting about football in the workplace. Yeah, no. That's a terrible idea. You're basically just saying, no, you can't chat about this in the workplace because we don't like it. Yeah, but... Nope.
Whoops.
Yeah, both having bad signal.
Sorry.
Copy's going as well. Again.
Uh-oh. Mine was a matter of I was changing a setting and it said, nope, no data for you.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Han Frank, head of the Charter Management of Institute, our management insisted it encourages lavish behaviour and there's a lot of women left out. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of women who work in offices who have conversations that men would have no interest in. You know, as well, there's women that like football as well, so you're saying that
There's women who like football, there's men who don't like football.
Yeah.
I particularly am not a fan. Not really a fan of any sports, really.
Well, I'm a fan of football, what you would call soccer, but I'm not an American football fan.
Either football, really.
So they don't want men to interact with the men, but then complain when they're feeling left out. Yeah. The research of 2,000 women was commissioned by 888.com as part of research into an extensive study into women in poker. They found 4% will avoid locations of particular interest because of the behavior of some men. It's just because they don't like poker. I don't know. The study also found 68% of women feel poker is a male-dominated game. It's because it is. Yeah, I don't like
Most
it
men
either.
who gather just as a reason to get away from their wives. Just saying.
A spokesman for 888.com said women should be able to do anything men can do. Nobody says they shouldn't.
They can.
Again, I'm pretty sure poker's gendered as well, which is stupid because your gender doesn't affect the way you can play poker.
Can you count? Can you hold the cards? Can you shuffle? Can you deal? Can you make a bet?
Research has found, despite facing moments which have aimed to help women feel empowered, there is still progress to be made. Of the 45% who have played on the poker, nearly half of them felt intimidated by the opposite sex during a match. Maybe because they're doing better than them.
You're
might be wrong.
supposed to intimidate your opponent. That's the point.
Research has found 36% of women do enjoy playing poker. And on this note, top female players have noticed more of them taking up the game. Talking to the increase in female poker players on Marquez, hey, it's poker and math. I said, nowadays I see a lot more of us, a lot more success in women. Yeah, these women don't like pool or darts, probably not. Anyway, my question is, why the hell is this a study? I don't know, gender equality or gender equality, I guess. Fuck knows.
I don't know. Well, considering it's pool poker, and darts they're talking about, chances are they wanted an excuse to get someone else to pay them to go to the bar.
Yeah, anyway, it's showing time, so
That's just as much of a good thing as anything else. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am Trucker Matt. Dashcam, live dash cams on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, starting again tomorrow, going to Silver Spring, Maryland. Also going over to the Pumpkin Trucker channel. Video dropped there last week. Another one will be dropping sometime this week. So that's going to be darker side of stuff.
Okay, I don't know when the fuck I'm going to stream again, probably sometime during this week. So, yeah, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. You're all a bunch of cunts. Goodbye.
Later.